Hello and welcome to the Modern Mystic radio show. I'm your host, Mystic Saira, and I'm going to be with you for the next 25 minutes or so. I'll be taking 2 callers, so get dialing in. Really looking forward to doing your readings. Now, if you would like your own private reading with me, the easiest way to do that is to pop onto my website, which is www.modern-mystic.co.uk, or you can find me on Facebook under Mystic Saira and also under Modern Mystic. There's plenty going on those pages. I do a free live session, so if you fancy having just a taster reading, maybe you've got a burning question, why not pop onto one of those pages and I'll announce when my next one is. Hopefully it will be this Saturday evening. So my topic for today, before I go into my callers, is, are you psychic? So I've got a list of things that you may be experiencing if you are starting to open up psychically, or maybe you've had some of these experiences throughout the whole of your life. So we're looking at sort of identifying whether you have a psychic ability, and then we can have a look at what you can do to enhance that later on. So the first one that I'm going to go into, which is number 1, is feeling like you've got cobwebs or like spider webs going over your face. Normally this is one of the first ways that spirit try to make themselves known to us, and it's to do really with our sensitivity. So they're not necessarily bombarding us with conversation, but it's their first way of connecting with us. I tend to feel this if I'm in a particularly old building. Sometimes I'll get that a lot with clients when I'm face to face with them, or going through an old town, somewhere with a lot of history, where there's likely to be lots of spirit. This is where I get it. So perhaps going a little bit more sort of closer to home, seeing things, shadows in the corner of your eye. You know, sometimes people have seen pets out the corner of their eye. They think they've seen like a small cat or a dog walk past and there's nothing there. Or maybe it's a little bit bigger than that and you feel like you've seen something walk past. I live now in a 200-year-old house, and I have had the odd happening like that here. I think the most bizarre thing that I've had is being upstairs and thinking that I can see my daughter in her bedroom just standing with her back to me. And I thought, I wonder why she's doing that. I just ignored it, went downstairs, and she was actually downstairs at the time, which was a little bit worrying. Okay, let's go on with the next one, which is spirit dreams. Dreams where loved ones come to you in your dreams. So perhaps with an important message, or perhaps just to offer comfort. I do get this a lot with my father, who passed away. He's come to me in dreams many, many times since he's gone, normally with quite an important message. And there was at one time, he appeared to be the bearer of bad news, but he comes with good news now as well, I'm glad to say. Okay, erratic temperatures, so feeling hot or cold spots in a room. This is again another way of indicating that spirit is around you. So perhaps that also that other people don't notice as well. So maybe you tend to pick up temperature changes. You know, this is a way that your body is indicating that there is something close by as well. Sensing emotions as well. So perhaps picking up feelings of that other people are experiencing, having that sort of gut instinct where, you can tune into what somebody is going through without them actually saying. Random memories, so having fleeting memories coming into your mind, perhaps of somebody that's passed away, things that you've totally forgotten about. Quite often I find that this is a way that spirit communicate with us that have passed over, so they'll give us some positive memories or some interesting memories, so you know that it's them connecting to you. Also seeing little sparks of light around you as well, maybe even orbs. Again, in this house, I woke up, it was a couple of nights into us living here, I woke up and I saw 2 great big beach ball sized orbs floating around my room, which is a little bit disconcerting, I have to say. But if you do see these things, they don't mean you any harm, and you're just picking up on the energy that is already there. Also, picking up smells. Now, I'm not talking about pongs, nothing nasty, but perhaps fragrances. And quite often people will sense and smell cigarette smoke when no one smokes in the house. This is again a sign that you are picking up energy. Hearing voices. So perhaps you hear your name being called or something else, different sounds. Again, you know, this is something that I've experienced where I've heard somebody who sounded an awful lot like my mother, who's not in spirit, I have to say, calling me. I think it was my grandmother, to be honest with you. Telepathy from loved ones. Now, when I'm talking about loved ones, I don't just mean loved ones in spirit. I'm talking about loved ones here on earth. So being able to pick up when perhaps somebody is going to call you, or if something big is going on in somebody else's life, and maybe they're on the other side of the world. Again, this is another sign that you are psychic. Knowing who is going to be on the other side of that phone when it rings. So this is a classic indication that you are highly sensitive, highly intuitive, and also psychic. So if you know who's on the other end of that phone, or you think, oh, I wonder how so-and-so is doing, and then all of a sudden the phone rings and it's them, that is a classic sign that you are psychic. And you can sense when perhaps somebody that is close to you needs your help. Okay, this is another sign that you're psychic. So perhaps it's a child, you know, you pick up that something's gone wrong with them. Quite often, you know, the people that we are closest to, we will be able to pick up on their energy and what is going on. Being able to touch an object and have feelings, emotions, maybe images coming through to you. This is a sign that you are and you have strong psychic ability. The ability to read an object, which many psychics do, is called psychometry. But this is something that you're experiencing just in your day-to-day life, then I think you have a gift. And also looking at going to a place that you've never been to before, perhaps, you know, a place where you feel really drawn towards and feeling like it's familiar to you. Yes, these could be past life memories, but it could also be the fact that you are connecting with spirit as well. And also finally, the last point in terms of determining whether you have psychic ability or not is being able to tell somebody that something is going to happen, and in fact it does. So if perhaps you end up saying something and you think, where the hell has that come from? Why have I said that? Why have I said, well, this is going to happen or that's going to happen? Chances are you've tapped into their energy and perhaps tapped into their future line, and you are indeed psychic. So if any of that resonates with you, then perhaps this is an area that you too can look into and develop further. So these are signs that most people have if they're budding psychics, that come in naturally, and you can enhance them with development courses, etc. So if that's something you're interested in, it is an area that I do work in. So if you do want me to perhaps teach you one-to-one, or you're interested in an online course, or maybe even a face-to-face course, if you're in the UK, then why not give me a ring? Okay, let's go on to our first caller, and we have Amanda, who is in Brooklyn, New York. Amanda, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello, Amanda. Welcome to the show. Is there anything in particular you would like me to have a look at for you today?
Yes, I have concerns regarding my work life and my love life.
Right, okay. Let's just see what we've got for you. I'm just going to give the cards a bit of a shuffle, and let's see what we have. Okay, so the first area that's coming up I feel like it's quite a big year for you. I'm getting work coming up first as being perhaps the biggest priority or the biggest area that's subject to change at the moment. And, this is exactly what I'm seeing is some change coming up for you. But the way in which you're feeling about it is, I get worried, if that makes sense. I feel like you're not quite sure where you're going to land. And what I'm being shown with this is, in actual fact, even though from the outside looking in, from your perspective, it feels like you're in a state of sort of, how can I put it, insecurity. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. However, what I do feel is that I have got a successful outcome. So what I'm being shown here is that we've got a situation where things feel quite rocky and unpredictable. And what I'm being shown here that you need to be doing at this particular point in time is kind of riding the waves. Because where I see you actually land when I'm looking at the outcome, it feels very much as though I've got you on much calmer waters. I feel like there's something coming in for you over the next couple of months. And what I would like to say is to really embrace the changes that are coming in for you and not to fear them, okay? So yes, I feel that there are changes that perhaps you might not necessarily be choosing at this particular point in time, because what I'm being shown here is like we've got things going on behind the scenes that you're not necessarily aware of. But I feel like I've got you landing in a better place, which is the one thing that I feel like you really need to focus on, okay? As I'm talking about this, I keep on getting the month of July coming in for you really, really strongly. So are you actually keeping your eye open for other opportunities as well at the moment?
Yes, I'm applying for different work and I'm just hoping for something to come up soon because right now my current situation is not favorable. Yes.
Well, I want to say there is something very favorable coming in. And, it feels as though I've got you really firmly getting your feet on the ladder, so to speak. So where at the moment you feel that things are a little bit insecure and frightening to a certain degree, I'm being shown here your feet firmly in the first rung of that ladder as we sort of hit the month of July. So I don't feel that we've got too long a wait here. Now, you wanted me to also look at your relationship?
Yeah.
So let's have a quick look at that, because my feeling here is that there is somebody that you are asking about. So I don't feel like I'm necessarily looking at a new person particularly. I feel like I'm looking at somebody that's already around you. However, what I am being shown here is almost like quite a stressful state associated with that relationship, and a feeling that, it was why aren't they engaging with me in the way that they used to? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I do feel, because what I get with them is like this feeling of emotionally shutting down. And I feel like you're both going through different transitions in different areas of your life. And I'm being shown here that patience around this relationship will bring it into line. I feel that if you apply any kind of sort of pressure to resolve anything right at this moment, it feels like it's going in the opposite direction that you want it to go in. So I want to say, get yourself sorted out when we're looking at work, and there's something coming in around this person that we're looking at. And once those two things have happened, I feel like your relationship can start to blossom and grow again, because what I'm also being shown here is that despite everything, despite the emotional distance that I'm feeling, around this is, at a core, I feel like genuine love around this relationship. Does that make sense to you? Hello? Okay, she's disappeared. I think we've lost the connection there with her. So let's go on to our next caller, and we have April, who is in Yarmouth, Massachusetts. April, can you hear me?
I can.
Lovely, thank you. Welcome to the show. Do you have a question for me tonight?
Do I have a question? I was hoping to possibly hear from a loved one.
Okay, right, so let's have a look. Did you have anyone in particular in mind that you would like to connect to tonight?
I do.
Okay, right. Right, let's see what I get with this. So are you wanting to connect with like a mother or a mother figure? Because this is who I've got for you.
Not a mother figure, no.
Okay. I do feel like I have got a female in spirit with you. Does that make sense to you? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, but I keep on getting like this whole mother energy around this person. So are you the mother? Are we looking at like a daughter or daughter figure for you?
No, a sister.
No? A sister. Okay, let's see what we've got. I'm just pulling out some spirit message cards. Wow. Phew. Let's have a look at her energy because... Right, I'm being shown here there's quite there's a real tragic element here with her passing. I feel like really sad with her passing. So it was way too soon. Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
Yeah, so I'm feeling as though definitely her life got cut short. However, I feel like this lady that's coming through has got so much to give, and I feel like she well and truly explored that in life as well. Do you know if she had children?
Yes, she does.
Okay, so this is probably why I'm getting such a strong mother energy with her. I feel as though, how can I put it? It's like her focus and her desire is to pass on a message to her children as well as you. Now, what I'm also being shown here, have you felt her energy around you since she's passed away?
I haven't felt her energy, but I have seen signs from her.
Okay. Well, in terms of white feathers and things like that?
Yes, birds.
Yeah. Okay. Now, was there something here to do with her breathing as well, or her chest area?
We're not too sure yet exactly what the autopsy was, but it was. We're thinking it was an accidental overdose.
Right, okay. Now, there is a feeling here when I'm tuning into her energy that, let's see what we've got. So my feeling here with her is that I feel like she wants to take responsibility for this. The way she's kind of putting it across to me is that that wasn't necessarily the case, okay? Because I feel as though I've got problems around her before she passed. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, really big problems. Because when you said accidental, she was going, And I'm not entirely sure. I feel I'm really torn. She's quite torn with how to actually phrase it, because I feel that I do feel that she knew what she was doing, okay, but I feel it's really weird. It's like the energy. She knew what she was doing, but she didn't think that it would result in actually her passing. I feel like I've got this element of actually this is a little bit unexpected to her. So I feel that it probably will be determined as being accidental, but she wants you to know that there is some element of responsibility with this, because what she's saying here is that she genuinely felt that she couldn't cope. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. And there's something going on with her that feels as though at that particular point in time she felt as though she had let everybody down. And this is coming in before she passed away, not necessarily afterwards. So my feeling here is that we've got some real internal battles with her. But in saying that, I feel that it's like the energy that she's giving me at the moment is like I'm free now. Okay, does that make sense? So there was something here in her life that she really felt that she just couldn't actually come to terms with. So she feels as though she's free from that. Yeah. Now I feel that she's impressing here. And she's not pushy with this, and she's not telling you what to do. She's not like that. But what she's impressing here, the desire for you to either keep an eye on or keep in contact with her children. I feel like that would mean a lot to her. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. And has there been an issue around that?
No, maybe recently, yeah. But after her passing, no, because I took her into my house. But then she just moved out, so we don't see her as much now.
Okay. Like I said, I feel that she's given me the impression of some other underlying condition with her as well. So was there depression or something like that?
Yeah, she had depression, and she also, made comments that she had, cancer or a brain aneurysm. We weren't really sure what she actually had.
Well, I definitely get the sense of a very severe depression around her as well. Something that I feel she wasn't getting the help with. Okay. Now that might be the fact that she wasn't opening up to the right people necessarily, but I feel like it's almost like playing a contributory factor into how things have ended up in the way that they have. One of the things that she is really impressing upon at the moment is she doesn't want you to feel as though there was something that you should have seen or done. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, because what she's saying here is that that this has weighed really heavy on your heart, and she's apologising for that. She doesn't want you to bear that responsibility, because what she's saying here is that she did have a habit of being quite secretive. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So she does not want you to feel any element of that you could have changed the outcome in any way, because again she's saying that there's an element that she knew what she was doing to a certain degree, but actually in hindsight, I don't think she actually meant it to go that far. Now, as much as she would like to stay in contact with, her children or her child, I do feel that it's like I get her energy walking with you. She's quite protective of you, and I feel that in many respects she's going to act as a bit of a sort of guardian for you going forwards. But keep looking for those signs, because I feel that you're going to receive more and more of them. There's a feeling here that her passing actually wasn't that long ago. Does that make sense? It feels like she hasn't been in spirit for that long.
That's right.
And what she's saying here is, over a period of time, you will receive more and more signs from her, because I feel like she's quite a spiritual kind of person. I get with her this feeling of being really misunderstood in life, and she with somebody with a heart of gold, that perhaps people didn't. Do you know what I mean? I feel like she didn't get a fair go at things. Or she was judged unfairly, and I know that she doesn't want you to suffer the same thing. But rest assured, she is very close to you, and you will have more and more signs that she's safe in spirit and she's around you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, you're more than welcome. You take care. We're going to have to wrap things up now. So thank you very much for coming onto the show. I hope you found that helpful. I'm going to have to leave things as they are. But again, if you would like a private reading with me, you can get me on my website, which is modern-mystic.co.uk, or on the Facebook pages, Mystic Saira and Modern Mystic. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Stay tuned for plenty more shows coming up later today and for the rest of the week as well. And I shall see you at the same time next week. Goodbye for now.